Hello, welcome to this tutorial. The topic is quadratic inequalities. So in this problem, we shall be using the graphical method to solve the problem. So we start with problem 1. Problem 1. Solve the following quadratic inequalities. A. X squared minus 2x minus 8 greater than 0. B. X squared plus 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 0. So we start with the first problem. Problem A. X squared minus 2x minus 8 greater than 0. This can be factorized. So we look for two factors of negative 8 whose sum will give us negative 2. We have two pairs of brackets opened here. So at the beginning of each, we place x. That's this x here. Since the coefficient of x squared here is 1, so we place x. Then we look for two factors of negative 8 whose sum is negative 2. So we can have two factors of 8 first, 4 and 2. So one has to be negative. So if we place negative at 4, that's negative 4 plus 2 gives negative 2. So yeah, so it's negative 4 and positive 2. So we say plus 2 minus 4. Since the two factors of 8 whose sum will be negative 2 are positive 2 and negative 4, then greater than 0. So the method we are going to use to solve this inequality is graphical method. So we bring in the second variable, that is y equal to x plus 2 into x minus 4. Now what we need is just a sketch of the quadratic graph, and we are there. So we go for x-intercept. For x-intercept, y is equal to 0. So if y is equal to 0, so we solve this, meaning x is going to be negative 2 and x is going to be positive 4. So we have a negative 2 comma 0, that's the x-intercept, and 4 comma 0. So that's the x-intercept. So for y-intercept, we have a y-intercept. We have x is equal to 0. So if x is 0, 0, 0, then negative 8. So the point will be 0 comma negative 8. So we can sketch the quadratic graph now, and from there we get our results. So we have a x-axis, y-axis, negative 2 and positive 4, and here negative 8. So we have it as a negative 8 here. Then we join the 3 points. So we've plotted the 3 points, we join them. So joining from here, yeah, we have joined the 3 points. And now we look at the inequality symbol. The inequality symbol is greater than 0. So that is the positive side of y. So since it is positive side of y, it means we are going to shade the wings. Since the wings fall to the positive side of y, so we shade the wing. So we shade the wing here. So these are the regions. This region and this region are the regions containing the solution of the quadratic inequality. So we write our solution set as set of x less than negative 2 union x greater than 4. This side is x greater than 4, x less than negative 2. So this is the solution set of the inequality. So that is to say, if you put negative 3, you are going to have a positive value. If you put positive 5, 6, 7 and so on, you always have a positive value, that is a number greater than 0. So we go to B part of the problem. We have x squared plus 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 0. So we open our brackets again. So we are placing x here, x here. We are looking for factors of negative 4 since the coefficient of this is 1. So we look for factors of negative 4 whose sum will give us positive 3. That's 2 factors. So they are negative 4 and 1 will give negative 3. So we can have it as positive 4 and negative 1. 4 minus 1 gives 3, and 4 times negative 1 gives negative 4. So we have it as plus 4 and minus 1. These are the 2 factors, then less than or equal to 0. So since we are going to use a graphical method, we say y equal to x plus 4 into x minus 1. Then we now look for x-intercept and y-intercept to enable us sketch the graph of this quadratic inequality. So x-intercept when y is 0. So here x plus 4 equal to 0 means x is negative 4, 0. And here when y is 0, x minus 1 is equal to 0. So solving that linear equation, you have x is equal to 1. So the other point will be what? 1, 0. Then we go for y-intercept. For y-intercept, we put x is equal to 0. This is 0, 0. 4 times negative 1 gives negative 4. So that will give us 0, negative 4. So we now draw or sketch the graph. So what are the points? We have negative 4, 1, and here on the y-axis we have a negative 4. So we have the 3 points. We are going to join the 3 points. So joining the 3 points, we have the sketch of the graph of the quadratic inequalities here. Now since it is less than or equal to is negative value of y, that is below the x-axis. So below the x-axis is this enclosure. So we shade it. So we shade. Now that is the region which satisfies the solution of the quadratic inequality x squared plus 3x minus 4 less than or equal to 0. So we now get the solution set of x such that negative 4 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. So it means from negative 4 to 1. This is the inequality which satisfies the range of values for which x squared plus 3x minus 4 is less than or equal to 0. So we go to problem 2. For problem 2, in this case, the coefficient of x squared here is negative. Coefficient of x squared here is negative, unlike in problem 1, the coefficient of x squared is positive. So this is going to give us a special problem. So we start with problem A. For problem A, we need to multiply this constant by the coefficient of this of x squared. So that's going to give us a negative 6. So I'm looking for 2 factors of negative 6 whose sum is negative 5. So that's going to give us negative 6 and 1. Because negative 6 times 1 gives negative 6. Negative 6 plus 1 gives negative 5. So we create our box here to factorize. So the first one is still the 6. So we're going to replace this negative 5x with negative 6x plus x. So that's negative 6x plus x, then minus x squared. So we factorize part by part, dividing this into 2. So we look at 6 minus 6x as first part and x minus x squared as the second part. So we pick the first part. 6 is common there. 6 is the highest common factor there of 6 and negative 6. So 6 divided by this 6 gives 1. Negative 6x divided by 6 gives negative x. Then this is going to be plus x is common here. X divided by x gives 1. And negative x squared divided by x gives negative x. So we have 1 minus x in the two brackets. So I have 1 minus x. What is outside the bracket? Combined together, that is 6 plus x. So we have factorized the quadratic expression there. We can insert it here now. So 1 minus x into 6 plus x less than 0. So now we are going to use again the graphical method. So we let y equal to 1 minus x into 6 plus x. So we get the intercept of x and get intercept of y to enable us sketch the graph. So when at x-intercept y is equal to 0, if you change this to 0, it will become quadratic equation. So we now have x to be 1. That's x will be 1. If y is 0, meaning 1 minus x is equal to 0, which means x is going to be 1. So the first intercept is 1, 0. And the second intercept, if you equate 6 plus x to 0, you have negative 6. X will be negative 6. So we have negative 6, 0. Now these are the x-intercepts. For y-intercept, we look at x is equal to 0. If x is 0 here, this is 0, 0. So y is going to give 6. So we have 0, 6. So we now draw the Cartesian plane. That's x-axis, y-axis. So here we identify x is negative 6 and x is positive 1. Then here y is positive 6, so we have it up here 6. Then we join the 3 point. It is not possible for us to join like this. We join like this. So now we go back to our inequality symbol. This is less than. Less than is the negative side of y, that is below the x-axis. So the only region below the x-axis are the wings of the graph. So we shade the wings, here. So these are the regions. This region to the left, these to the right are the regions which satisfy the solution of the quadratic inequality in A here. So we now write our solution set to be set of x less than negative 6 union. Here is x is greater than 1. This is the solution set of the quadratic inequality in A. So we go to B. For B, we have x plus 2x minus x squared greater than or equal to 0. Again, we are going to factorize. So we factorize 8 times negative 1 gives negative 8. So we are looking for two factors of negative 8, whose sum will give us a positive 2 here. So that's going to give us 4 and negative 2. 4 and negative 2. Yeah, so in place of this positive 2x, we are going to replace it with negative 2x plus 4, which if it's simplified will give us positive 2x. So we have it as minus 2x plus 4x minus x squared. So here 2 is the HCF here. We bring out the 2. So we have 2. 8 divided by 2 gives 4. Negative 2x divided by 2 gives negative x. So the second part, x is common there. So we have plus x. 4x divided by x gives 4. Minus x squared divided by x gives negative x. So we have the brackets to be the same. So you have 4 minus x. We bring together what we have outside the two brackets. That's 2 plus x. So we have done justice to the factorization of the quadratic expression here. We bring it here, 4 minus x, 2 plus x greater than or equal to 0. Since we are going to use a graphical method, so we say y equal to 4 minus x into 2 plus x. So we get the x-intercept. So x-intercept, y is equal to 0. So with that, x is equal to 4. Here we have the first point, 4, 0. So 2 plus x is going to be equal to 0, which means we have x there to be negative 2. So we have the second point to be negative 2, 0. Then we get the y-intercept. To get y-intercept, we equate x to be 0. This is 0, 0. We'll be left with 4 times 2, which is 8. So we have it as 0, 8. 0, 8 is the y-intercept. So we go ahead to sketch the graph of the quadratic inequalities there. So the Cartesian plane, that's x-axis, y-axis, and this is the origin. Here 4 and negative 2. So we have negative 2 here and 4 is here. Then for y-intercept, this is 8. So we join the 3 points. So joining the 3 points, we have this. So we have joined the 3 points. Now we go back to the inequalities greater than or equal to 0. We are interested in the upper part of x-axis. So we shade from the x-axis upward. So we shade the x-axis upward to touch the curve. So this region satisfies the range of values of x for which 8 plus 2x minus x squared greater than or equal to 0. So our solution set now will be set of x such that negative 2 less than or equal to x and then less than or equal to 4. So this is the range of values of x for which 8 plus 2x minus x squared is greater than or equal to 0. So that's the end of the solution to problem 2. And we want to say thank you for watching this video. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Oninab Resources, if you have not. But you have to like and share this video. Until we come your way again, goodbye.